Okay. Hi, my name's Joe, and I work in the button factory. I got a wife, 3 kids, and one day my boss said to me, he said, Joe, I said, yo, are you busy? I said, no. Well, push this button with your hand. All right, help me. Hi, my name's Joe, and I work in the button factory. I got a wife, 3 kids, and one day my boss said to me, he said, Joe, I said, yo, are you busy? I said, no. Well, push this button with your other hand. All right, you know the words. Hi, my name's Joe, and I work in a button factory. I got a wife, 3 kids, and one day my boss said to me, he said, Joe, I said, no. Are you busy? I said, no. Well, push this button with your foot. Hi, my name's Joe, and I work in a button factory. I got a wife, 3 kids, and one day my boss said to me, he said, Joe, I said, no. Are you busy? I said, no. Well, push this button with your other foot. Hi, my name's Joe. All right, I got to hear the words. And I work in a button factory. I got a wife, 3 kids, and one day my boss said to me, he said, Joe, I said, no. Are you busy? I said, no. Well, push this button with your head. All right, I got to hear the words. Hi, my name's Joe, and I work in a button factory. I got a wife, 3 kids, and one day my boss said to me, he said, Joe, I said, no. Are you busy? I said, no. Well, push this button with your palm. Hi, my name's Joe, and I work in a button factory. I got a wife, 3 kids, and one day my boss said to me, he said, Joe, I said, no. Are you busy? And I said, no. I said, yes. Yes, I'm busy. Oh my goodness. Y'all, she went over a dinosaur on the way here. Okay, stand up top. No. Show me your head. Show me your shoulders. Show me your knees. Show me your toes. Show me your ears. Show me your eyes. Show me your mouth. Okay. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears, and mouth and your nose. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Okay, now, I really think y'all can probably go a little bit faster. No. You ready? Okay, stay on your bottom. Stay on your bottom. Now, I talked to you about the art contest. I need you to draw me a picture. Paper, pencil, pens, markers, crayons, paint, any way you want to draw it. I need you to draw me a picture. If you have a teenager, how many of you have teenagers at your house? Wonderful. If you have a teenager at your house, I need them to pull out the camera and start taking pictures. And I need them to bring me pictures for the photography contest. I need my boys and girls in here to get library cards. I need you to read books. I need you to come see me at the library and get you some books. Tomorrow we have story time, and we have puppets, and we have books, and we have songs, and we have crafts. We have all kinds of fun things. Today we had to make Wayne's science center. They're going to teach us how to maybe pull up something. Or dig up something. Maybe that would be better. Next week we have Dr. Magical Balloons, who's going to be here to show us how to make balloon animals. The next week, which is our very last program, we're going to have Skip the Magic Guy. And he's going to bring his rabbit. Sometimes, I've been to one of his shows one time where he took the rabbit out and he just put it down and forgot it. And it was the funniest thing because it went everywhere. You know, you would be sitting there and this rabbit would just suddenly jump on your lap and just keep on going. It was so neat. I need you guys to come back for that one too, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. We have our own bunny. We're getting two more.
Wonderful, wonderful.
We witnessed something like that before. The bunny keeps on trying to get out of our arms when we try to carry her back outside, but she got loose from the yard a million times. I have a rabbit. Good for you.
Okay, there you go. So could you please reach into your pocket, pull out your bubble gum, open it up, put it in your mouth, chew it up. Okay, I'm gonna blow a bubble. You ready? Reach in your other pocket. Get out your yo-yo. Wind it up. Tie it to your finger. You ready? Make sure it works. Very good. Very good. I was sitting on the fence post chewing on my bubble gum. And I'm playing with my yo-yo. When along comes Herman the worm. And he's this big. And I said, Herman, what happened? And he said, I ate a bug. And he crawled off, helped him crawl off. Are you ready?
Dinosaur, I am so close.
Now, we talked about digging into reading, and I saw her come in with that big thing a while ago. What, did y'all see that? What was it? Okay. A fossil, aren't you smart? Now, a fossil. Well, did we find this out on the side of the road? How do you think we found that fossil? We had to dig for it, didn't we?
Because a long time ago, we don't know what happened, but we think that there was a huge volcano that erupted and buried them under.
It could be. It could be. There are a lot of different ideas about what happened to the dinosaurs. But we do know this. We do know that you can come to the Andalusia Public Library and you can find books about dinosaurs. You can find books that have pictures of what we think the dinosaurs look like. Would that be okay? Okay, y'all. Okay, there's something else that you can dig up. There is something else you can dig up. We talked about this. What was this? Worms! How many of you have ever played with worms? Me too. You know what is a lot of fun? If you take 2 or 3 worms and you put them in your pocket. That is fun. And then you let Mama find them in the washing machine. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? We talked about worms, we talked about dinosaurs. Okay, I've asked if y'all went outside any this summer because it was really hot. How many of you have gone out and planted any flower seeds or vegetable seeds? That's another way that you can dig. That's another thing that you can come to the library and learn about. You may put your hands down. You can learn about how to grow your own garden. Do you know what somebody told me yesterday? They took some old shoes and they planted flowers in a shoe. I've never seen that. You don't think you'd like? Okay, well, if we can dig worms and we can dig dinosaurs and we can dig seeds, what else can we dig?
Oh, I know. We could dig treasure.
We can dig treasure. That would be so cool if we were like pirates and we went to these islands and we could dig treasure. Sometimes we like to go to the beach and we like to dig through the sand and see if we can find some coins and things.
Our backyard is that we're going to this big dinosaur. The dinosaur, yeah, it's like a bowling ball. And this little kid, he had got the ball. Yeah, the dinosaur got so mad it chased him all the way home.
Okay, great. If the dinosaur chased me, I would run all the way home too. Oh my goodness. Okay, we can dig worms, we can dig seeds, we can dig dinosaurs, we can dig. Do y'all remember talking about those pyramids? And the Egyptians and the mummies? That's something else that can be dug, isn't it? We can learn about all kinds of things. If we come to I love it. I love it. Okay, I need you to put your hands down. I need you to put your listening ears on, screw them in or squish them on real tight. You got them? Put your hands in your lap. Are you ready?
I'm ready, thank you.
We will turn it over to the McWayne Science Center.
All right. Well, hello, boys and girls. How are you today? Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I drove a long way to come and see you. I brought a lot of cool stuff. Can you raise your hand if you've been to the McWayne Science Center before? It's kind of far.
I love it.
You love it?
This year, they had about, it had a butterfly. It involved plants and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Remember, did you go this year?
I did. I work there. I'm there a lot. So I have some passes to the McWayne Science Center. It's a free kids pass if an adult buys a pass, so I will leave these with you, or yeah, I'll leave them with you before I go. Okay. So I brought those for you to start off with. McWayne Science Center is 4 levels. We have an aquarium on the bottom floor. Do you know what lives in an aquarium? The fish. The fish. You can touch sharks and stingrays.
Yeah, I remember.
Little sharks and stingrays are swimming around in the touch tank, and you can touch them. We have exhibits that are always changing. This summer, our special exhibit is about race. So if you guys want to ever come visit, we would love to have you. If you see me, say hello, okay? My name's Laura. I don't know if I already said that. Sometimes I forget. And I came to talk to you today about dinosaurs. Do you like dinosaurs? Raise your hand if you like dinosaurs. Yeah, we got people who like dinosaurs? That's what I want to hear. Do you see dinosaurs walking around today? No. So dinosaurs don't exist. They don't exist now, right? How do we know that they used to exist? It sounds, boys and girls, it sounds like you are very excited and you have a lot of things to tell me, but do you know what I heard when you all talked at once? Blah, 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 blah. I couldn't understand anything you said. So the best thing you can do right now is if you've got something to share with me, raise your hand, and then I can call on you, and then I can hear you. So my question is, how do we know that there used to be dinosaurs here if there aren't any now? How about right here in the orange? There are fossils. That's right. Very good. So we're going to look at some fossils. Yes.
Did you know that some species that live in the cold, they made the dinosaurs die?
Things that lived in the cold? Okay.
They made the dinosaurs die.
When it got cold? Yeah, there's different ideas about why the dinosaurs died. Yeah. Right here in the red.
The dinosaurs, they didn't have enough food.
Well, let's talk about all the things that we want to know about dinosaurs. To start off with, you said fossils, right? There are 2 types of fossils. I want to show you some of them. This is not a real fossil. This is made to look like a fossil. Where do you think, what body part do you think this came from?
The neck bone.
The neck bone? What do you think?
A tooth.
A tooth, that's a good guess too. What do you think?
Leg bone.
A leg bone?
No, a tooth.
One more guess, but there in the blue. A tooth? Yeah.
Backbone.
It's a backbone. So we have vertebrae in our back. If you touch your back, you can feel a bone right there. That's your vertebrae. This is a Basilosaurus vertebrae. Can you say that? Basilosaurus. Vertebrae, yeah. So this was its backbone. Did you know that Alabama has a state flag? Yeah? Did you know that Alabama has a state bird? And a state flower? We have all these things. Did you know that we have a state fossil? This fossil, this Basilosaurus vertebrae, is so commonly found in Alabama that this is right here, this is our state fossil. That's pretty cool, huh? I didn't even know we had state fossils. But this is ours. And how would you know if you found this in your backyard? That this was, what would, if I found this in my backyard, do you know what I think it would be, what I would think? I wouldn't think it was a fossil. I would think it was a rock. Would you maybe confuse this for a rock? Farmers used to find these in their backyards all the time, and they would use them to make fence posts because they just thought they were big rocks. So how are we supposed to tell the difference between a rock and a fossil? What do you think?
Because rocks are more lighter than fossils.
Well, yeah, rocks can be heavier. Rocks can be a lot of different weights. If we look right here in the center, this looks kind of like honeycomb because it's part of a bone. This is where its bone marrow would be. So it's got, because it looks like honeycomb, that's a good guess. It's got all those little holes in it, that what we're looking at is a bone or a fossil instead of a rock. So this is our state fossil. Do you remember what dinosaur it's from? Basilosaurus. So I want to show you the two types of fossils we could have. Sometimes we find fossilized bones, and that's called a body fossil because its actual body got fossilized. Do you know what other kind of fossil we can find? If it's not its body, it's something else right here. Uh-huh. And what would that rock show us?
It would show us the part of the body that the bone was.
Uh-huh.
Or the bone could have been there and it could have just shriveled up and it could have just left like a dent of the bone.
Yes. So it could have left an imprint, right? So this is maybe hard to see because I'll walk around a little bit with this. So this is an imprint of what? A fish. So I'm going to take a step right here. I'm going to walk in the back so some people in the back can see it. This is not a body fossil because its body did not become fossilized. We see it as an imprint. What's another thing?
I see a fish thing.
How do you know that maybe a deer lives in your backyard if you don't see it? So it leaves what? Footprints. So that's another really good type of trace fossil. These are traces that these animals lived, or like a deer, a trace that animal was here, but it's not the actual body. So we have body fossils and trace fossils. Pardon me. Pardon me. Thanks, guys. You didn't see? All right. Now, here is another part. This is another fossil. They're small. Woo! You got to touch the fossil. You want to stand up for a second? It's underneath you. They're round. I can see through this one. Does this look like something familiar to you? If you found this in your backyard, I would not think, oh, hey, that's definitely a fossil. It looks like what? A Cheerio or what? A bolt? I think it looks like a rusty bolt. Or a wheel? So if you saw one of these in your backyard, you might not think, hey, that's a fossil. But this is part of the bone of a creature. So is this a body fossil or a trace fossil if it's part of the bone? A body fossil. You guys are good. So this is a crinoid. Can you say crinoid? Crinoid. Very good. This is a crinoid body fossil. And this is a rock that has circles in it from that same crinoid. Now, is this a part of its body? So this is an imprint. So what kind of fossil is this?
A tree.
It starts with a T. a trace fossil. This is a trace fossil. You can see the circle right here from where it was. Actually, they're all over it, but that's the biggest one. Now, here is what a crinoid looked like. It looks pretty?
Yeah. I can't see it. That's a dinosaur.
What I want to know,
That's the rock.
is this a plant or an animal? I would like you to raise your hand if you believe this is. You don't even know what the question is yet. Raise your hand if you think this is a plant. Raise your hand if you think this is an animal. Raise your hand if you have no idea. That's fair. That's fair. Now, I would say if I was looking at this, it looks like a plant. People who said it was an animal, why do you think animal? I said something that might have given it away. Right here in the orange.
It's a dinosaur that it is more closely related to like the what clownfish swim into anemones.
Anemones.
That might be more.
Might be like an anemone. I said something about those fossils we were looking at. What did I call them? Do you remember? If you have something else to say, you can say that. Because you see some eyes? I don't see the eyes. You got good eyes if you see some eyes on there. You're right. Guess what? It is an animal. If you said animal, I think it looks like a plant, but this is a filter-feeding animal. And I thought maybe I gave it away when I said those crinoid fossils, I said they were part of its bones. So I thought that might have given it away as an animal. Yes?
In our yard, some of the rocks have prints.
They do? Cool. So this crinoid is today's sea fan. You mentioned a sea anemone, maybe they were related, but it is actually, these are still alive today. We just call them sea fans. They wash up on the shore at the beach. Now you guys know the two types of fossils, so we want to look at some actual, we want to look at what used to live on Earth that we don't get to see anymore. Now, we're going to talk about 3 different eras. The first era we're going to talk about is the Paleozoic era. Can you say Paleozoic? Paleozoic era. Who wants to guess? This is before dinosaurs. What lived on Earth in the Paleozoic era before the dinosaurs? In the purple dress. Is what? Cavemen. It was a really big, things were really big, and now they're pretty small. What do you think right here in the stripes? Insects, very good. So the Paleozoic era was the age of the insects. Insects were huge. Have you ever seen a millipede or a centipede? Would you please show me with your hands, how big is a centipede if you saw it outside? One that you see in your backyard? This big? This big? Do you know the difference between a millipede and a centipede? Who hasn't told me anything yet? Right here. They do look different. How many, this is kind of a tricky question, how many pairs of legs do I have?
2.
There we go. I have 1 pair of legs, because a pair is 2, right? You got a pair of pants. Means I got 2 spots for my 2 legs. It's 1 pair of pants. I've got 1 pair of legs. A millipede has 3 pairs of legs on each body segment. And a centipede has 2 pairs of legs on each body segment. So that's how you know the difference. I would like to show you how big a centipede was during the Paleozoic era. Will someone come up here? I don't have a real one. They don't get this big anymore, but I have a model of how big it was, and I want somebody to hold it for me. Who, right here in the pink, you want to come help me? All right, you can stand right here and face everybody. What's your name?
Takia.
Takia, here we go. Put your hands out, Takia. How big do you think this thing is going to be? This big? This big. You think it's going to be that big? Okay. Put those hands out. Takia, look at this thing. Would you? What if you had centipedes in your backyard that were this big? Gross. Gross. Now this centipede, boys and girls, do you want to hold it with both hands? You can hold it in the middle. We'll let them. Boys and girls, this centipede is 5 feet long. They usually got to be even longer than this. They got to be 8.5 feet long. But I had to fit the centipede in my car, so this is how big they are today. This is a small size one, 5 feet long. Now we can count their legs. We got 1 pair here and 2 pairs here on this body segment, which makes it a millipede or a centipede. Centipede has 2. Now, do you want to help me with one more thing? All right. Now, if this is how big a centipede could get, I want to show you something maybe you've seen before. This is a small version, and these are alive. Takia, have you ever seen one of these?
Yes.
What is it?
Cockroach.
It's a cockroach.
They're alive.
Yes, they are. Now, if we can be really quiet, this is not a cockroach from my house. Oh, yeah.
It's still alive.
There's 2 cockroaches. These are Madagascar hissing cockroaches. So they don't live around here. These are some of the biggest cockroaches in the world. Do you know where Madagascar is? Where is it? Yeah, it's an island in Africa. Now, if you're really quiet, I'm going to give them a squeeze. Or do you want to give them a squeeze? With the tongs. You can use the tongs. And we can listen. If you're really quiet, we can see if we can get them to hiss. I picked the loudest ones before I came. They might be shy. Did you hear it? Can we be real quiet? You heard it? Do you want to try? They made a little hiss for her. Can we give her a hand? She's very brave. Cockroaches. You can grab your seat. Thank you for helping. Whoop. Now, these are some of the largest cockroaches on Earth today. How big do you think cockroaches could have gotten during the Paleozoic era? Show me with your hands. Let's see here. We got, there's 1 foot. It was bigger than that. A cockroach that's 2 feet? That's crazy and disgusting. But they're bigger than that. They got to be, whoop, whoop, 3 feet long. 3 feet long. Don't you wish you lived in the Paleozoic era? No way. No way. Now, those were some gross bugs. I don't think this insect is quite as gross. What is this? This is a dragonfly. Dragonflies during the Paleozoic era, their wingspan, this was about how big they were. Their wingspan was 1.5 feet. Ooh, and that's a good thing about those centipedes were carnivores. What does carnivores mean? They're meat eaters. So that centipede that she was holding, that would eat meat. That would eat other animals. And they could be venomous. Now, the biggest insect that's ever lived during the Paleozoic era, it was called a griffin fly, and its wingspan was 2 feet long. Yuck. Here is a picture of a giant centipede in the front. Now, those are just insects that lived on the land. Do you think that things living in the water were different then? What if I told you there was something related to the spider and the scorpion, but it had armor on it to protect it? I brought a small molt. So just like spiders, they'll shed their exoskeleton. It's called molting. And they'll grow a new exoskeleton, their hard outer covering. That's the same thing that this guy did. So this is his molt. It's not a stingray. Stingrays are smooth on the outside. You can feel their skeleton, their cartilage along the back. This guy is called a horseshoe crab. Very good. So this is its molt. So it shed its exoskeleton, kind of like how a snake sheds its skin. This is its outside. It shed everything. Now, if I flip it over, you'll see it has it looks like a crab, which is why it's called a horseshoe crab, but it's more closely related to spiders and scorpions. So you can see it has lots of pairs of legs like a spider. It has 10 legs or 5 pairs. It has this long tail like a scorpion. It has 2 eyes right here. These are its compound eyes where it sees. But then it has several pairs of simple eyes like up here. And those simple eyes just sense light. Yes?
I know how to trace fossils and stuff. They're formed by animals that got trapped underground and the mud covered it. And I think when it got removed, it left what happened to it.
That's definitely a way that trace fossils can be formed, yes.
Actually, the centipedes and the millipedes and the spiders
Uh-huh.
are arthropods. They're not insects.
That's a type of arthropod, yep. Or a type of insect. Yes.
I think I know how big the wingspan of a dragonfly is. Actually, it's as big as a seagull's wings
A seagull's wings?
in a Paleozoic era.
Yeah, maybe. A seagull's wings. That could be about 2 feet long. That's a good comparison. So this is our horseshoe crab. Now, if this lived before the dinosaurs, do you think that it's still around today?
Yes.
Raise your hand if you think you could still find a horseshoe crab around today. Raise your hand if you think that's crazy. There's no way horseshoe crabs are still around. Horseshoe crabs are still alive today. Something that was around before the dinosaurs dinosaurs is still alive today. The horseshoe crab is considered the oldest animal on the earth because it's older than the dinosaurs. There we go. Now, we just looked at insects. Those were part of the giant insect era, the age of the insects, and that was called the Paleozoic era. After the Paleozoic era came the Mesozoic era. And what happened then? The dinosaurs. Were dinosaurs insects? Are dinosaurs, if you touch your arm, does it feel warm or cold? Warm, because we are mammals. We're warm-blooded, we're mammals. What's the other thing? The cold-blooded guys, what are those called? Reptiles. Dinosaurs weren't mammals, they were what? Reptiles, because they were cold-blooded. They laid eggs. Now, here is, dinosaur means terrible lizard. This is not a T-Rex. This is called an Allosaurus. Allosaurus. Now, who can raise their hand and tell me what you notice when you're looking at this Allosaurus? What characteristics do you see? How about right here in the red?
I see some stripes on it.
He's got some stripes, yeah. Big teeth, what do you see?
There's something on his head.
Something on his head?
That's his ear.
Yeah.
The crests above his eyes.
Above his eyes? Anything else? Yeah. He's got little arms. Yeah, he's got 2 little arms. What about his tail? Is it small or big? So this guy was 30 to 40 feet long. 30 to 40 feet long. He had a really long tail. He's got a pretty long neck, and he's got 2 tiny little arms. Now with one step, this Allosaurus, with one step, do you think his step would be bigger than mine?
Yeah!
Yeah? I've got how big his foot would be right here. This is a cast of his footprint. So this is what his footprint would look like. Now I need somebody to help me. If I put down 1 foot here, if this is where our Allosaurus started his step, I need someone to help me decide where would this second footprint go. How about right here in the green? You want to help me? Come up here, you can put it up. Wherever you think. All right, let me measure that out. If we started here, are you a dinosaur expert? He's pretty much right on. Let's give him a hand. Way to go. So an Allosaurus with one step is called his stride. In one step, he would cover 9 feet. So that right there is one stride, and when you saw the picture, we'll look at it again. How long his tail is, with all this, and how long his neck is. He's only got 2 legs. So that's just how long one step would be. He would be enormous. So this is the Allosaurus. Now, what is the dinosaur that is everybody's favorite?
T-Rex.
What is it? T-Rex. Hold on. So, the T-Rex. Why do you like the T-Rex? What's so cool about him? He's the king of the dinosaurs. How about in the gray? Here's a big carnivore. Now, so he had big teeth, right? T-Rex had big, scary teeth. What were his arms like? Little arms? Little arms? I think that there is a dinosaur that's way scarier than the T-Rex. I want someone to come up here and help me be a T-Rex for a second. In the blue, will you come help me?
Oh my God.
All right, what's your name? Zoe. I would like you to put these gloves on. Now, I have sewed the fingers together of these gloves because how many fingers did a T-Rex have? 2. You can put this on this hand. Put one finger in there, one finger in there. Okay. And then this hand. The fingers are sewed together. So your thumb is going to go in here, so you can't use it. There you go, and then you can put it in here. All right. He's got 2 little arms, and they're super long, right? T-Rex, long arms? No. No. So, Zoe, I need you to put your hands like this, or put your elbows back, hands in front of you like this. I'm going to put this, put your elbows back more, because I'm going to put this between your elbows. Ready? Because then you can't use your arms. Now you have mini arms. All right, Zoe, you're a T-Rex. You got 2 fingers. You got mini arms. Can you tie your shoe right now?
No.
No, you can't tie your shoe.
And she just not with the laces.
Zoe, can you scratch your nose if you have a little itch? Oh, hey, okay, she's pretty good. What if you wanted to do your hair really pretty? Could you do that? It'd be hard with those little arms, huh? And 2 fingers? So, as a T-Rex, Zoe is really not looking too good. It's going to be hard to catch things. What if you needed to catch something? You're a meat eater, right? You want to catch? It's going to be hard. She does have a big mouth. I want to let our T-Rex do something well. I'm going to try. I need my audience to be ready and Zoe to come over here. I'm going to see if our T-Rex can throw a Frisbee. Are you guys ready in case it goes at you? Come step over here so they have a warning. Are you ready? T-Rex? Throw it up and not at anybody's face. Go. Hey! All right, thanks, Zoe. You can take this off. You can grab that. You can have a seat. Let's give Zoe a hand. So a T-Rex was mostly a scavenger. So he was like a vulture. He ate things that were already dead. So he was not an awesome hunter. But this guy, what do you notice about his arms? Are they long? Yeah. They're longer than a T-Rex? Can you see from where you're at? Does he have 2 fingers? No. How many fingers does he have? 3. It should look like he has 3. He has 3 fingers. He's got long arms, he's got 3 fingers, and at the ends of each of those fingers, gentlemen, at the end of each one of those fingers, he's got one of these claws. This guy is the Appalachiosaurus. Can you say that? Appalachiosaurus. So he was Alabama's version of a T-Rex. T-Rexes didn't live here, but the Appalachiosaurus did. Now, I would argue that he is way scarier with these claws and those long arms and that extra finger than the T-Rex. He got to be, he was one of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs. And, he wasn't a scavenger. He actually caught the food that he was going to eat. So this is the Appalachiosaurus. Now, now we're going to look at the dinosaurs that lived in the water. The first one.
I know, it's like that short that's got armor all over him, and also on his sides, I forgot its name. It started with a G.
We're going to look at two today. Two things that lived underwater. Now, technically, since they were swimming, we wouldn't call them dinosaurs. But this guy, remember? This is the backbone of the Basilosaurus. Compare this to a human vertebrae. This is how big one of our vertebrae are, an adult vertebrae. That's the backbone. A vertebrae is your backbone. And this is the Basilosaurus backbone or vertebrae. Here we go. Here is his picture. He is a meat-eating whale. He got to be 55 to 75 feet long. Yes.
They don't have blubber like large whales because they actually look like big hills, and they don't have blubber because they don't eat it. They live in warm water.
It was warmer then.
And they live right where the Sahara Desert is.
Okay. So here's our Basilosaurus. Now, this is pretty scary looking, right? You wouldn't want to run into one of these?
Yeah, I do.
Now, even scarier than this guy, although not as big, the top predator in the ocean, I only have a little picture for this guy. This is his jaw, the top ocean predator. This is his... This guy is a mosasaur. That's a good question. What do you think he likes to eat? He likes to eat... It does kind of look like an alligator. Yeah, he's got a long jaw like that. He eats meat. He eats sharks. He eats whales. He eats smaller mosasaurs. Yuck. So he might remind you of a croc, but he's a lot bigger than a crocodile. So this is the mosasaur, the top ocean predator. Now, do you think this is a dinosaur? Oi. I'm really strong. Ugh.
I see a metal part.
This is a giant turtle. It's not a dinosaur. Now, it's a sea turtle. Now, our sea turtles don't get quite this big. It was 9 feet, its shell alone was 9 feet long and about 6 feet wide. It was a protostega. A protostega. Yeah, I think it did. Oh, that mosasaur jaw, since it was eating things that were bigger than it is, or bigger than its mouth, with this jaw, could you eat a shark or a whale?
No.
It had a special feature that let it eat things that were really big, kind of like a snake. What can a snake do with its jaws? Right here. Do you know what a snake does? What does it do? Yeah. It can unhinge its jaws so that it can eat really big prey. You saw a snake do that? Yeah, when we fed our snakes yesterday, I watched.
A rock python can eat a Tom's gazelle.
Oh boy.
Pythons
All right.
30 feet long.
Now, that's the end of the dinosaurs. That was the Mesozoic era. Now we want to look real quick at our third and final era. This is called the Cenozoic era. After we had big insects, big reptiles, and then we had big mammals. So the Cenozoic era was when we had really big mammals. What's the biggest animal that's kind of considered the biggest predator that lives in Africa?
Lion.
A lion. Now, during the Cenozoic era, there were giant cats. Giant cats. This is a lion's tooth. Now, a saber-toothed what? A saber-toothed cat had a tooth like this. Let's compare those. So do you think they got bigger than lions? Yeah, they did. 2 lions would be about the size of a saber-toothed cat. Now, there's one other jaw. I brought this jaw. This is the jaw of something that lived during the Cenozoic era. And it still lives today. Back then, they were as big as black bears, but they're not that big today. Anybody have any guess what this thing might be? No. Batman? Any guesses what this animal might be? It starts with a B. Oh. Right here in the yellow. No, they used to be as big as bears, but they're not now. What is it? No. Are you ready? Wait, last guess. It's a beaver's jaw. It's the jaw of a beaver. This is its front tooth. So beavers could be as big as black bears back then, but they don't get that big now. But beavers did live back in the Mesozoic era, and they're still around today. Now, looking at all those things we saw today, aren't you glad we live when we do? Yeah. Did you want to live with giant centipedes? No. Some people say yes. Well, those are all the fossils that I brought you. And so I hope that you guys had fun and you learned some things. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, can y'all clap for her? Thank you. Okay, did you learn about dinosaurs? Yeah! All right, did you learn about different times in history? Yeah! Did you learn about the dinosaurs and how big their arms were? Yeah! Did you learn anything about the dinosaurs' mouths? Yeah! Did you learn anything about how big their steps might be? Yeah! Okay, have you seen one? No! But why? That's right, they're extinct, But how did we find the fossils for the dinosaurs? We had to dig for them, that's right. The whole thing of this summer's reading program is Dig Into Reading. You can learn more about the dinosaurs by going downstairs in the children's department and finding you some books. When you start to leave, it is not time, your door prizes today, you have some, you paint, you take the water and you take the paintbrush and you mix the colors and you make a beautiful picture. And the name of this is Dig Into Reading, right? Dig Into Reading. It's not a dinosaur, but you know what would be really cool? Is if you drew me at that dinosaur.
I don't know.
You guys, do y'all mind doing something for me before I pass out my door prizes? Yeah! Would that be okay? Yeah. Okay, I need you to smile. All right, I gotta get your picture. There's 152 of you today. All right, you ready? I'm gonna do it in 2 pieces. 1, 2, 3, smile. All right, 1, 2, 3, smile. And then 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, are you maybe interested in some door prizes? Yeah! I want that dinosaur balloon. I want one. Okay. Now, let's talk about manners real quick. Do we push and shove and kick and scream? No. Do we say, oh, thank you? Yeah. If we get something we don't like, do we say? No. Because we're glad to be here today, right? Yeah. We're glad to get prizes, right? Yeah. Okay. You promise you're going to work on your reading? Yeah. Okay. I am reaching in, and I have Chloe. 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 Chloe, here you go. Don't let him bite you, okay? Watch out, because, sometimes he might try to get you. Okay, I am reaching in. I have Peyton Godwin. Peyton. There you go. Let me see you do something here. That kind of goes along with the rock band from last week, doesn't it? Very good. Jake Jeter. Jake, have you ever heard of origami? That's where you get to take the paper and fold it to make all the cool shapes and things. I want you to see if you can do some of those for me, okay? All right, I'm reaching in. Rihanna. Brianna? All right, look, got to dig into here. This one says Thaddeus. Thaddeus, this is an Iron Man coloring thing. All right, get to work on those art skills. All right, I got to reach down in the bottom, right? Ooh, a lot of names. There's a lot of boys and girls. This is Elizabeth. Elizabeth, you want me to blow it real far? Oh. Okay, look, wait, let's try it again. All the way to the door, hard. Thank you. Don't do that in the car. Okay. Trinaya? All right, this is to help you dig. You can dig for worms, you can dig for bugs, you can dig for armadillos. You can dig for just about. Okay, I have down here, I'm drawing Whitney Bradley. Whitney, this says All American Variety Kit. You've got some seeds here. I need you to grow me some cucumbers and some squash, okay? All right. Now, Adam Anderson. Adam, do you know how to play checkers and chess? All right, I don't know how to play chess, but I can play you a mean game of checkers. All right, we got Father's Day coming up this weekend, don't we? Yeah. I think you probably need to beat your dad in a game of checkers or chess, all right? Okay, you get to paint this or color this or make this any way you want to. It kind of looks like maybe that turtle over there. No? You don't think so? Okay, maybe we washed it and it shrank. Macy Storms. Macy, do not let the turtle bite you, okay, baby? I like the cat. Okay. Joshua Blackstock, I have a free bowling game. All right. Javin Poindexter. Is that right? This is called Discovery, and you're getting to go out and look at the night sky. And it's a 3D look. Okay, very good. All right. Get down to the bottom down here. Let's see what we got. Caleb Smith. All right, Caleb, it will glow in the dark. Okay, you only get one. I get two. All right. Marion Starnes. All right, it matches your top. How cool is that? All right, I've got some tomato seeds. How many of you like tomatoes?
No!
Emily Ruth. Emily. Here, Emily. Look at me, Emily. Emily, I'm going to throw them to you. Can you catch them? You ready? I throw like a girl. I'm sorry. This says Kara. K-E-R-A, Kara. Here's you a bowling ticket. See a bowling. All right. Bubbles. John Robert Mixon. All right. the car. All right, you never get those out. Okay, and these are your McLean Science Center passes, so we need to pull those out. I got one more bowling pass in my back pocket. Zanya? Zanaya, I'm sorry. I always say that wrong, don't I? And I love you to pieces. Okay, now, y'all try to tell Mr. Eddie thank you for the bowling passes. Thank you. Now, boys and girls, next week, Dr. Magical's going to be here to do the balloons. He's going to tell you some really cool stories. As you start to leave today, there's art paper, there are bookmarks, there are these little art pieces of paper that you can do the painting with. They're out here in the back, or by the door as you start to leave. Are you glad you got to come to the library today? I am glad that you got to come to the library today. Please have a good afternoon, and please be careful, and please come back to see me.